but I'm here with less than 3 now, at least with 2 of the guys. And so please introduce yourselves and what your function is in the band, and also perhaps you could give a little overview of the history of the band too.
I'm Jesse. I play the guitar and compose most of the stuff for the band, and it kind of started as my project. I started making songs when I was still with my last band, and I felt like it wasn't the music I wanted to do, so I started to write my own stuff, and eventually that became Less Than 3.
The story for me in Less Than 3 began was either 1.5 years ago, just before the summer of 2012, when a friend of mine and Jesse asked that if I would be interested in playing this band called Less Than 3, and I gave them a listen. I was really, enthusiastic about the stuff, and I immediately contacted Jesse and asked that, hey, do you still have a singer or not? And it's like, you should give it a try. And
so, but yes, since it's your band more or less, what does the name actually mean? Why is it Less Than 3?
Actually, it started as a joke, because it was just something I called my stuff when I recorded these songs. Like it makes the heart, and that was the joke, and we just got stuck with it. We were thinking about naming the band with some other name, but
we tried to come up with something else as well, but we kind of stuck into it.
Yeah, it felt like we have always called it Less Than 3, so it sounded really wrong to call it something else, so we just went with it.
Well, of course, congratulations also to your first release.
Yeah.
And you'll release it in 2013, I believe, a couple of months, or about a year ago almost. And in my opinion, it has a very dry and very synthetic sound. Is that intentional, or did you plan on having this kind of sound? And if so, why did you choose this kind of sound?
Actually, when I started recording this stuff, I thought that I'm gonna do it with machine drums. I'm not gonna use a real drummer. But then along came Samuli, and things changed. But I had a lot of the guitars already recorded, so we went with those tracks that I already recorded. So it's kind of different style to record this kind of stuff, because normally you start with the drums and go from there, but now we have the guitars first. Well, the mix was done by our other guitar player, Ape. It was taking a shitload of time. I think I started making this song in 2009, so when it was almost done, we just say that we just need a deadline now, so otherwise it's never gonna be out. So we actually the mix was kind of rushed, but I think it's kind of good. It could be better, but it's good.
I think it kind of suits the songs after all. Yeah.
And you only released it as a digital version, as I was told. And why is that? Why did you choose to just release it digitally and not have a physical record?
You have a lot of input on this. Yeah, actually, we were thinking that nowadays CDs don't sell that good, so we were thinking that pretty much all is in the internet. So why would we do a physical copy of it? But apparently, I now, as a retrospect, I think we should have done a physical copy of it, because it kind of the mouth-to-mouth word goes with the CDs. Because when you have a CD and you can trade it, it goes. But when you have stuff only on the internet, it doesn't. I don't think it gets that much. What's the word?
Attention.
Yeah.
I think it's a bigger commitment when you buy the physical one than just cooking the play.
Yeah, then you can actually look at the bootlegs and stuff like that.
More eager to tell your friends about it when you bought the actual stuff.
Yeah. So, I think it's just a poorly made decision that we didn't make a physical copy.
Maybe also the lack of money and
well, yeah, the usual stuff.
yeah, and maybe we thought we'd have better songs, you know, coming up.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll push it to them.
Yeah.
Well, and now, Tommy, it's a question for you. I think you have pretty interesting lyrics, and which for me were not very easy to grasp and really to get the point of that. Do you want to convey a precise message, or do you really think, or do you rather think it should be up to the listener to kind of interpret the lyrics?
I think it's both. It leaves the how to say the room for interpretation for each one of the listeners. But still, there's the basic thing is that the basic message, or I don't know. It's not like message. I'm not preaching on anything and stuff, but it's just like these thoughts of our people, human nature, and society, and it's veiled in this like. In the case of Lesson 3, it's veiled in this dream-like, nightmarish, like, veil. And basically they're about maybe living in a lie, and that everything, not everything, but most of the things that you believe is built on lies. And you're kind of, deceiving yourself. You're living in a self-deception, and you think it's like the truth, but it's just because of the fucking ignorance. You're used to live in the thoughts that it's so hard to explain that the input you take from everywhere. That's the thing you believe, and you're not thinking on your own. Yeah, it's like living on a built.
I don't know shit about the lyrics. I don't pay attention really to that stuff.
Yeah, yeah, it's good.
I think it's kind of cool because we had this really nice picture on the EP that Jesse Soiletsalo made for us, and it kind of follows the theme we had on the lyrics, I think.
Yeah. There's kind of the comparison that people are sheeps, the herd of sheeps, and we're led by these leaders of like wolves, and they're leading us astray and eating us alive and stuff, and we're actually dead inside and just following them blindfolded. And that's kind of the metaphors of living in a lie and deceit, and just fed up truths and that kind of stuff.
And so, what about the music? Do you have the music in mind and the storyline as well when you write the music, or just does the storyline come with the music?
I think it's kind of both. Well, for example, the January on our EP, I made that song so that I looked up for a picture from January. And I just look at the picture and started to imagine what kind of music could play on the background of the picture, and that's how I made this song. And I always try to have like I don't like to make songs just to make them. I need to really put myself into it, and I'm inspired by everyday life. But I think like the coolest inspiration comes from when you're pissed off or sad. Then you have like the perfect mindset for the music I want to make. I want to make music that makes you feel something. So it's just not this noise on the background. I really want to make it so that it grasps your ear and you really can kind of relate to it.
And then, of course, leads to the next question. Have a lot of people been moved by your music, and how have the responses been to the record, and also to your live performances? For example, you played with Scar Symmetry, and when was it? Like this year, last year in Helsinki, in March this year. And how have the responses been live for your live performance as well as the record?
I think for me it's been surprisingly good after all. Just a new band.
I haven't heard anything bad, but of course there's gonna be some people who doesn't like this stuff.
Of course, there's always gonna be the haters and dislikers, but the response has actually been mainly really good. and it's really surprising to see. Yeah, it's not.
Always after every week we have at least one person who comes to us and says, "You have a new fan."
Yeah. It's so rewarding to hear.
Yeah.
How then did you get to play with a band like Scar Symmetry?
I think it was because of our bass player Pyry had some connection to this Finnish agent, which requested Scar Symmetry to play in Helsinki Nosturi, and he knew him and asked him that if it was okay if we warm up for Scar Symmetry, and that's how it was made. So.
And how do you two kind of evaluate the kind of, let's say, band environment in these ages of digitalization and the whole changes in the music business with MP3s and all that kind of stuff? Do you think that also now that bands can record everything at home basically, or everybody can record stuff at home, does that contribute to the development of the music and the sound, or rather to the contrary?
I'm kind of old school on this. Well, obviously I didn't play in a band when this happened, but I really liked when you had to go to a gig and see a band if it's really worth like giving a recording deal off. And nowadays you don't have to do that. You just have to have like a really good CD, and that's all there is. And you don't really have to show yourself how you really play these songs live and stuff like that. Nobody comes to see your gig. You just try to make a good quality CD with, you can do whatever tricks you want, like now there's auto-tune and stuff like that. And I really like when a band knows how to play their own songs live. 'Cause I've seen bands that sound good on CD, when you go to a gig they sound horrible.
There was a while ago, a couple of months ago, there was this Summer Slaughter tour in the US. I don't know if you've heard that. Yeah. And there was this one band whose name just escapes me. I can't remember.
Summer Slaughter, it sounds so familiar.
But on that tour, there was one band who was accused of having recorded some of their songs faster than they can actually play. So the question, of course, is there was big outrage everywhere, and people were accusing them of how stupid they are that they actually do that. But where in the recording area does cheating actually start? Because after all, you play it as long as it sounds good. So within itself, you are, after all, cheating. At least you could define it like that. How would you think? Where does cheating start, or where does normal, say, adjustment start?
Well, to me, when you're at the studio, there's really no cheating, but you really know how to play. Like I said, I like to see how a band plays these songs live, so you have to know how to play them live. I don't care what you do at the studio, you can play them in a half speed and then sped them up to a real speed. It doesn't matter to me. It's all about it's about this sound you have, and to me, if you want to achieve a certain sound, it doesn't matter what you do to get it. But at the end of the day, you need to know how to play a good show and how to play the songs live. And that's when I rehearse, I try to be as consistent as possible. I try to. I've been playing for like over 10 years now, and I've been just now going to the lead playing. I've been dabbling a bit, but now I'm really starting to learn this stuff. 'Cause now is the time when I feel that I'm really comfortable with my rhythm playing. So that's why I'm just now starting to know the lead stuff.
Has any label shown any interest in Less Than Three? And or what have you put any effort in contacting labels at all, or?
No.
I think no. With the previous release, we didn't want to attain that attention so much. So we kind of like putting our
see what
happens. Yeah, it's going on its own, and maybe the next release we're doing in the beginning of the next year.
Yeah.
So with that one, we're gonna push it forwards and try to contact the different labels maybe.
And are you probably gonna release it as a CD then, or also just as a digital copy?
We haven't talked about it yet, but to me it's definitely a yes. Now that we released the last one, we saw that it's not worth to just make an EP and put it only on the internet. You don't get the attention you'd like to, and I think that would be achieved with the physical copy of the EP.
So of course now famous last words are of course yours. What would you like to say the potential people that could possibly watch this?
Listen to Less Than 3.
And drink some more beer and listen to it more.
Thank you very much.